welcome to the Share Report. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And for those who are returning, thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to talk today, and today's video is definitely something that's long overdue. And we're going to be talking about yellow journalism and the origin of yellow journalism and why it's called yellow journalism. And I'm going to probably do a part 2 of this video and talk about different forms of yellow journalism that we have faced just in our generation. And I think it's going to be quite interesting because it may spark your memory, like, oh, I didn't know that, or yes, I do remember that kind of thing. So I'm very excited. We're going to talk about the topic of yellow journalism. So with that being said, I'm going to have a paper as well on this side so that you can just follow along and kind of see some visuals as I'm talking. So it's just not me just saying these things. You have living proof, and I'm not just making it all up. But one of the things that I wanted to mention to you is that the terminology was actually coined way back in the late 1800s. And basically, yellow journalism is when news is sensationalized, it is a lot of propaganda, pseudoscience, which you actually can see in that one paper or the little chart that I have here. Basically fake news. You know, President Trump talks about fake news. Well, yellow journalism basically is fake news before the terminology fake news was used. So I wanted to go ahead and say that. So sometimes called the yellow press, which is an expression that means little to no factual information. Nothing is just all eye-catching, like the sky's falling in, or we had millions and millions of people die from the COVID. When actually 99% of them actually were either sick or had a drug overdose. So things like that, just to kind of give you a hypothetical, or not even hypothetical, actually something that really did happen. But yellow journalism was used, sensationalized, to make you think all of these people died from this virus. Okay, so that's a form of yellow journalism. Everyone's dying from this. This many people have got it. This many people around the world have died from this. Think of yellow journalism. Okay, so with that being said, the term yellow press started in 1895 due to a newspaper battle for customers sensationalizing and exaggerating the news sold papers. Okay, so also during that time, you may have heard of the New York newspaper, William Randolph Hearst. I actually have a book here and I've been reading it. It's a very thick book, and I spoke about this before. This book is called The War Lovers, and it actually mentions that William Randolph Hearst with the New York Journal, and it also mentions some things that he has falsely heralded about Spain. Okay, so that's kind of where it all started, all originated. So Joseph Pulitzer, he actually did kind of like this cartoon illustration of New York City, of the slums in New York City. And I'll actually play a clipping of that as well so that you can see. But he did sort of a satirical, cartoon of it. And in that cartoon, there was this yellow child, or this child dressed in yellow, and that became like the spotlight, or the thinking of the word, the main character of the satirical cartoon. It was like the main focus of it. And so and during that time, there was a lot going on. There were people that were moving into New York City that were from just different places. It was just becoming, I guess, basically a slum. So not due to because people were coming from just different places, but things were just going downhill. Just a lot of immigration piled in. So William Randolph Hearst actually paid the cartoon artist that drew the little yellow child, which we know, and he hired him for his New York Journal and paid him and took on that characteristic. And the people that are actually critics of yellow journalism, or actually of William Randolph Hearst and his writings, his sensational writings, actually coined it to be called yellow journalism. So that's basically just the very basics of how that all started. And I thought it was very interesting as I was reading and learning more about it. Like, what is the yellow part? And it's actually from a small child, or the small character that was like the center of this cartoon in the New York slums. So that is one thing that I had wanted to mention to you, where it all came from. And one thing that I'm going to, on the last part of that paper, from the minister of propaganda, the ultimate of propaganda, of all propaganda, Edward Bernays. We are governed, our mind molded, our tastes formed, our ideas suggested, largely by men we have never heard of. And that's actually very true. A lot of these people come onto the news and they tell us all these sensational things, and we soak it all in, and we've never even met these people before, and they change our minds and they make our minds think a certain thing without any evidence, without any facts. I mean, think about 4.5 years ago, trust the science, when in essence, they were actually bringing us pseudoscience. There was no evidence backed by anything. Take this poison dart, you're not gonna be sick. Here we are 4.5 years later, and we're getting all the statistics in, people unliving left and right, or getting clots, or having strokes, or all of a sudden these people that are under 20 years old having heart attacks or having heart problems, all from sensationalizing, or all from yellow journalism. So I'm going to play a clip for you. It's basically what I just said, but more of a visual that you can see the leading up of everything, how yellow journalism started. And I want you to remember, the next time you hear something on the news, think about this video. Think about it and say, you know what? Is this really true, what they're speaking to me? Is this really accurate? Is this good information? Is this sensationalized information to make me think a certain way? That's what I want you to think the next time you open up your newspaper, if you're reading newspapers, or the next time that you're looking on your TV or your smartphone, or whatever it may be, you're looking at the news and they're feeding you and causing you to absorb something. I want you to think about this video. And also, I want you to subscribe to this video, because, like always, I love bringing you information. The more subscribers, the more people on board, the more people educating themselves, the better. And that's what this video and this channel is all about. So in the middle of this, if you are watching so far, subscribe, share, and subscribe. I need everyone to subscribe and share this video, because we need more people knowing what yellow journalism is, where it came from, where it originated, and all the things, so that they are aware the next time they look at the news. So with that being said, I'm going to play this video, and thank you all so much for joining and for being here. I'll see you in the next video, all about some examples of yellow journalism. See you soon.
In 1896, in an effort to spur sales of his New York Journal, Hearst hired the Hogan's Alley cartoonist away from Pulitzer and continued a fierce war for talent between the two publishers.
This is before radio, and certainly before television, before films were really catching up.
Unverified sensationalism was Hearst's stock in trade. This was yellow journalism, born out of the New York newspaper circulation wars of the 1890s.